Welcome to Hypnotic Authenticity. My name's Chris. I'm a practical, firmly grounded, feet on the floor hypnotherapist, and I'm based in Switzerland. This series of episodes of my podcast is looking specifically at boundaries, at people pleasing, at the subtle ways that we abandon ourselves in order to feel accepted or safe or understood, in order to not rock the boat. So I'm examining the patterns that drain you, the stories that keep you small, the fixed and limiting beliefs that imprison, and more importantly, the ways to escape it, the ways to embrace and expand the possibility of living with a clearer sense of self-respect, with a clearer sense of personal truth, of authenticity. So let's begin. This is another video on the subject of not being a nice guy. Okay, so this is predominantly aimed at men, but women might find it to be really, really interesting to understand what is going on with the opposite sex. This one in particular is going to be addressing this idea of keeping the peace, of avoiding uncomfortable emotions. The idea being that if you can maintain a predictable environment, well, then these uncomfortable feelings that you have inside of yourself won't erupt, and therefore you'll maintain control. Because if you don't maintain control, then it's potentially possible that the shameful, unforgivable, unexposable elements of yourself might accidentally fall out. So the whole purpose of maintaining the peace and not rocking the boat is to ensure that you maintain a exposed persona of perfection. It's a way of hiding the parts of you which are, well, at least inside of your mind, not nice. So instead you're putting forward the parts of you that are nice. How do you do that? It's a kind of a manipulative approach, right? What happens is, and I've done a video somewhere else about games people play. So this ties in very, very carefully with games people play. You kind of, because it's impossible if you're perfect to have wants and needs, but it turns out that you do have wants and needs, that everybody has wants and needs, but the perfect man would not, because he would be totally self-sufficient. And so you kind of try and pretend as if you're already perfect and therefore you have no needs, but somehow you still have to make these needs get met. And so because a perfect man would not be able to express them, you cannot express them publicly. You drop little hints, you drop little breadcrumbs, or you manipulate your way into receiving things, maybe through complaining about people that don't do it, by distracting or diverting attention elsewhere. But what's going on is it's a sort of an implicit contract between you and the other person, where you both pretend to not understand that there is a contract going on. I love you. Yes, I love you too. Are you saying it because you love the other person, or because you want the yes, I love you too coming back? And then you can both pretend that never occurred. The story that's going on is that if you focus your attention on other people's needs and you make them feel good, then they are going to associate you with the feeling of being good, and they're going to treat you as if you're perfect. So therefore you don't need to expose the parts of you which are imperfect, but you can still get your needs met. And if that isn't working so far, the conclusion is to do it more, to do it harder, to put all of your efforts into it. Because the reality is that it doesn't work like that. Because when you try and manipulate somebody, when you play around in that kind of covert approach, the other person may not be able to name it, but they feel it. It's like you become across as being needy, and subconsciously the other person is going to push that as far away from them as they possibly can. So it's almost inevitable that these things don't work. The strategy is a problematic strategy. It doesn't work. But you kind of think that if you carry on, you try harder, well, maybe it'll work better next time. So question yourself, right? Are you engaging in these covert contracts? Are you giving to get?
Yeah. Rather than giving from a place of giving, are you giving because you need something, but you daren't ask for it? Yeah. Are you unable to say no? That's another one. Are you manipulating? Are you unable to express your true, authentic self for fear of being exposed and are therefore instead constantly trying to get your needs met through manipulative tendencies? If you relate to that, try asking yourself if this is like a survival mechanism. Yeah. Because for me, they think this comes very close to your sense of identity, your sense of wealth, the core pillar of your strength. If it feels like a survival mechanism, if it feels like I must not expose the parts of me which are to be disapproved of, a bit like exposing your dark side, which is very common. You can have a look. I've made a video which is about dark side, but I would ask yourself to question what the catastrophe is at the end of it. If those parts of me were exposed, what would be the conclusion and where would that lead me? Because the likelihood is it kind of means that people are going to dislike you and that you'll be isolated and alone and unloved. Yeah. But I'm going to hazard a guess that if you relate to all those things I talked about, you probably already feel isolated and alone and unloved because, well, when you are manipulative, you don't get what you want. You get, at best, you get a pale shadow of that, and you don't value it when you get it anyway because you know you're getting it for bad reasons. So, yeah, question the catastrophe, question the story which is going on inside of you, and ask, is that valid? Is it relevant? Is it you? And what is keeping you there? What would be the alternative? And is that better or worse? And why? It's all about the stories running inside of your head, unfortunately.
Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If it resonates with you, then follow my podcast. I would also personally be really grateful if you might wish to leave a quick rating. It genuinely helps others to discover the podcast. If you personally would like more guided meditations, you want some deeper insights, you'll find all my links in the description. If you prefer a more visual boost, then you might want to check out my YouTube channel called Authentic Life Hypnosis. And if you're looking to do some deeper work that goes beyond one-way audio, then obviously you're very welcome to reach out. Equally, if you have any questions, I'm here to help. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.